All right. So as people are joining us here, why don't we start with whoa, not that. Yeah. Where are you guys joining from? So drop it in the chat where you're joining from, so that we can just kind of see where we're hitting on the map here. So just in the chat, you can just drop where you are zooming in from today, and you'll see some pins pop up on the map there. And hopefully, as we expand this, we can expand more and more of North Carolina, and then even more and more into other states as well. All right. And then next question for you here, as more people are joining here. What big plans do you have for the summer 2025? Just drop in the chat what you're up to. We have a little family trip going to Charleston this weekend, going to see a concert on Friday night. So that's my big plans for the summer. That's it. After that, I got nothing. What are you guys doing? Drop in the chat. What are your big summer plans? Horse shows, leisure time, pool, relaxation, Carolina Beach. Love it, love it, love it. What else? Nobody's doing any business? Baseball. Yeah, I know who that is. Awesome. All right. Then that should give it that gave enough time for people to get here. I love to see what other people are doing this summer. It's a nice variety pack of stuff that they got going on. Some time in Charlotte, some pool time. Hopefully you get some business in there too, so you can fund that perfect life there. But let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, and that is CapCut and how it compares to Instagram's new version of a video editing tool, which is Edits. So that's what we're going to talk about today on Tech Thursday. We're going to start just by a comparison of the two apps from a feature standpoint, and then we're going to dive into what some of them can do. So we're going to we'll do that little feature component, and then we'll little demo for each of those. We're not going to dive too deep into them. This is to touch the surface for those who maybe need some guidance and just some inspiration to dive into the deep end of the pool for these video editing platforms, because there's so much that you can do with them. They are really, CapCut is pretty top tier as far as some of the features that it can do. They have all enhanced their AI capabilities here lately. So are you guys ready to dive in? All right, I see lots of thumbs up. I see some smiles in the chat. That's awesome. So before we dive in, I just want to get a feel for what we have out there as far as what you guys are using right now. So are you currently using CapCut or Edits or both or neither? So drop a 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat, just so I can get a general feel for what we have here. So we got a dozen people on here. So what's our level of what we're using so far? So I see lots of CapCut, some neither. No one's using Edits. All right. All right. Next question for you then. So if you answered neither, or you've been quiet so far, just drop in the chat as well, or just come off of mute if you want to as well. What's the main reason that you haven't embraced either of those, or just kind of just not using them as of yet?
First, I've been using Canva, and most of it are just talking head videos. So, and if I do something live, I'm usually not editing it at all. I'm just putting it out there.
Didn't even know about Edits. I love that, Carrie. Thank you, Terry, for that. Yep. Awesome. So yeah, so that's why I wanted to, kind of just, like I said, just gauge where everybody is at, get a feel. I had a good feeling that not too many of you had even heard of Edits, really. It kind of just not really shadow dropped, but where it came out of is ironically about the same exact time, I think actually the exact day that that the TikTok ban was supposed to come into effect, Instagram, Meta announced this new edits app that was going to, allow you to do a lot of the things that you can do inside of CapCut, and it is completely free, whereas CapCut has a paid version of it. So it dropped literally that same exact day, and then miraculously, as the TikTok ban was kind of pushed to the side, edits didn't really take off as it has. But where I think that edits is a really great option, especially for those who just don't want to take the time to learn such a huge platform as CapCut. Edits is a great starting point for a lot of the editing features that you can do. So hopefully our goal for today is that we're going to ease some of those fears that you have around CapCut in edits, and that you'll be able to dive into them. So as I mentioned, I want to talk about the features that each one of these have versus and kind of why I think that that there are some superior things that each one of them does a little bit better, and they're both native to their own app, so they definitely play a lot better to their app. So if you've ever worked in CapCut and then uploaded some, it's a little bit more of a process to get it into Instagram if that's your preferred social media platform, then get it right from edits into your Instagram account. There's just some size that's not exactly the same. So working in the platform that partners better with the app that you're social media app that you're using, you may find that beneficial. So CapCut has templates, so there are lots of different auto cut templates. So you can, there's automatic, you can just put in, hey, I have 6 photos, I want to make a video cut with that. You can get that done right inside of CapCut. So you can just, there's a lot of tons of template options that are available. There are even users that create templates every day. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the green screen type edit templates that are in there. They both have video timelines that are nice drag and drop feature capabilities. They both have transitions. So the transition, like if you want to, do a zoom cut from one scene to another, they both have those. CapCut definitely has a lot more options in there, especially under the pro version of CapCut. So if you want to do a video with a little bit more than just a talking head type video, both of these will get that done, but the transitions in CapCut will be a little bit better. Captions, they both have, text and stickers. So, if you want little things to pop up on your screen, the Instagram version of the edits has all of the ones that are in Instagram. So if if you put a little heart on your Instagram reel or your story, those same exact hearts, the same exact stickers that are inside of Instagram are inside of edits. And then as far as captions, they both have a free caption, so you can instantly caption any video, which if you're not doing for your videos on any platform, I would highly recommend get that done, because a large percentage of people are just scrolling through their videos with their sound off. So the captions are really important, even on YouTube. So if you can take a video, upload it into a CapCut, and then put your captions on there, and then put it up into YouTube, I would recommend that as well. Then we're going to move into some of the other effects that both of these have, and I'll show you an example of each of these as well. But there are a ton of AI effects in both of them. I would use them judiciously, like make sure you're not just making everything AI in either one of the apps. But the ones in CapCut, they are paid options. The ones that are in Instagram are currently free. It's basically using Meta's AI. I will note that it is slow, in my opinion, right now, that Meta AI, as far as some of the effects that it adds, and I'll show you some of those effects as well. They both have voiceover. And then the thing that I think separates them the most outside of the complexities is that the CapCut has a desktop version. So those who are using CapCut, is anybody using the desktop version for CapCut? Coach Kaima is. Talk to me about that, Peter.
Yeah, so we put it on a big iMac here. It's easier to see. We can be more precise. We do both, but When we have the time, we like to put it up on the desktop. It just allows us a little more precision on things.
Yeah, that's talking to someone the other day, and that was their hesitancy with CapCut was, we're struggling with the ability to manipulate the video with it being on the small screen of an iPhone. So if that is you, or and that is one of the reasons maybe you haven't jumped into video editing with one of these easy platforms, maybe that gets you off the desktop version. Again, is free, and it is easy to a lot easier to edit on the big screen. If that's something that that is important to you. All right. And then just finishing the features off, they both have teleprompters built into them, and I'll show you both of them. The CapCut one, however, is a paid feature, so you do have to have a pro CapCut account to be able to use the teleprompter feature in there. And then I was talking about these pro options. It's only $10 a month. When I say only $10 a month, if you start adding 15 apps that you're using, they add up pretty quickly. But the pro version of CapCut is $10 a month, and currently Edits only has the free version. So what questions you guys have on any of the features that we've gone over so far?
The only thing really the thing that I use the most is the templates. Mm-hmm. So with Instagram not having that, I think that would be a big minus for me.
Yeah, that definitely is a nice feature to get those with the templates, to have like, hey, I just plug in my 6 videos, it cuts them for you, and you're done with that. So yeah, that is a nice feature. I would imagine that something will be coming out, because Instagram has a template feature. I'm surprised that they did not integrate it into their edits, but this is version 1.0 of edits. So I'm sure if enough people share that feedback, they may do that. All right, so let's dive into the actual apps then. So we're going to start with edits. I'm just going to go through, again, high-level overview. If you've been joining me on these Tech Thursdays, sometimes I tend to bite off a little bit more than I intend to chew as far as how deep we go into them. So we're just going to surface level on them, and then I invite all of you to also explore some of these options a little further. But let's go into edit. So again, let's get back there. So if you go into the App Store, you'll be able to find it. It'll just search for Instagram edits. You'll be able to find it. It is the app that has looks like a frame around the Instagram photo there. So I click on that, and what you'll see here, as soon as you log in, you'll see your dashboard. So from your dashboard, again, if you have been in CapCut, one of the things I like when I instantly look into edits is the simplicity of the app itself. So you'll notice when we go into CapCut, there are too many options, and that just, too many options are going to cause a lot of people to freeze. So as you'll notice on the bottom, there are only 5 options of really things that you can do inside of Instagram edits. So the first one I'm going to start with, and this is one of the things I think separates edits a little bit. I like the recording functionality inside of edits a lot better than the recording functionality inside of CapCut. So if you want to go straight from your video right into editing it, I think edits does that a little bit better for me. So on the bottom, you'll see the little record option there, and that will pull up your camera. You'll see, again, not a ton of options here, but you can go to a green screen very easily. You can change your background, pull in an image that you want to pull in there, and now you have your green screen, and you can do your green screen video easily that way. If you want to turn it off, you just, oops, that was audio. Turn off my green screen. And you also have a timer here. So if you want an on-screen countdown timer, you can do that. You can also change the length of the clip. So you can go all the way to 10 minutes in your video clip, and you can also add a countdown to your recording if you want to do that. And then you can also change the speed of your video. So you can change the speed with the video. You can go to 1x, you can go to 2x, 3x, 0.5, however you want to do that. And then, as I mentioned, one of the free options inside of CapCut, inside of edits, is the teleprompter. Great part about this is, again, it's going to default towards the top of your screen. So if you're using the front-facing camera, you'll have it towards the top of your screen. You can just type your script in here. And then, what I would probably do if I was going to use this is I would make my script in like a Word doc or a notes, and then I would just copy and paste it in here. Wouldn't try to type it in there. Wouldn't work for me for sure. But what that will do, and I'll scroll through there. You also then have your options to change the teleprompter speed. You can see how much faster or slower, depending on how fast you yap. As we guys, I'm sure notice, I yap very fast, so I definitely have to turn that up. You can also change the size of your text. So it's a nice, very easy, free teleprompter tool. Again, as long as you're speaking to the camera side of things, you're good with that. So those are the features on the left-hand side there. The other features at the bottom, again, not super complex, but you can zoom 1, 2, or 5. So they have the zoom options there. You can also turn the camera around. And then the only other option that I would kind of mess around with in here, depending on how you want your videos to record, would be these numbers on the right, which is going to, where it says 4K and 30 right now, that is going to show you your options as far as the recording quality. I would try to recommend getting HDR whenever you can. And I don't think you need more than 30 frames per second, because if you notice, if you go to 60 frames per second, you cannot go in HDR, you can only go in SDR. So the recommended settings for me, the ones that I use are 4K, 30, and HDR for that. It just gives me then, if I need to edit it a little bit further, it's a little easier to edit without losing quality on that. Now, if you go up to 60 frames per second, you are going to, again, it's because that's also going to change the file size for you. So that's going to seriously change the size of your file. So now I'll just record a few seconds here. Great thing about this is you can just continue to record as you continue to record. And you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, it has all of the clips there. So then once I have all my clips recorded, it now goes right into the project timeline, and I can start editing those clips. I can move them around. If I want to reorder them, I just hold and drag it over. So I can now move those clips around as I want to, but you can go right from the video recorder to your project tab. Questions so far on that? For those that was the first time seeing edits, what are your thoughts on the recording start?
I like that. I put in the chat, is there a way to just put an outline up at the top and not have it keep scrolling? Because I'm not a script person, so I would just put an outline that says cover this, cover this, cover this, cover this, and not necessarily have an entire script there.
I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm not sure if you can not scroll it.
To 0. If you moved it down to 0, it might not scroll or scroll very, very slow.
Oh, that would make sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I can think of for that. All right, so let's move into some of the projects that you can do. So it's just again, just to show you some of the stuff that you can do. So again, right when you log in, it's going to always kind of default to your project dashboard. If you wanted to create a new one, you'll just go hit the plus in the right corner. That is going to, I'm imagining, I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember when I first did it, but I'm sure it's going to ask you for permission for access to your library. Just grant that permission if you need to. So once you do that, it's going to give you, give access to your entire library. Just scroll to the video you want to put in there, or multiple, as you can choose multiple and hit add. And then that's going to bring up your, hopefully, if you've ever, again, if you're familiar with CapCut, it brings up a very similar type option here for your timeline here. So just like, again, you can scroll through that timeline very easily. And then you'll see at the bottom are the options that you can have. So again, one of the things I like about edits is some of the simplicity that it has. So again, if you're familiar with CapCut, you can scroll for days on the bottom with all the options that are there. There are only, 8 options, 9 options that are here that you can do to add overlays and stuff to the video. So again, just like CapCut, you're going to be able to add some text here. So I'm going to add something here. You'll see the menu bar there where you can change the text type. It's the same exact text that you'll be able to find in Instagram here. So if you have a text that you are that you love in Instagram, it's going to be here. You can change the colors, and then you can also add that little A++, or I don't even know what it is, but those are some effects that it also has. So I'm going to use this block effect, and then I can then move it to wherever I want to, resize it, all the stuff that you can do inside of CapCut. You can also do all that stuff inside of Instagram, but there's a little bit more that you can do inside of here. So adding text, voice, if you're doing a voiceover type video, you can do the same thing. So you just hit voice and it'll give you a prompt to start recording, and you can do your voiceover with that as well. Captions, it'll just, once you hit generate captions, it'll give you the option to generate those captions for you. And then it'll do it again in that similar style to the ones that are available inside of Instagram. So I'm going to go to edit, and I can change the style of those. Make them bubble style, and I am done. Move it to where I want to on the screen. And then we have the captions. We also have an overlay. So just like again in CapCut, if you want to add an overlay on top of that, you can do that as well. So I'm going to take just this image here. It's going to add that as an overlay on there. So this would be good if you're recording a video and you just want something to pop up on the screen that you want to point to and reference it to. You can do lots of different options with overlays on the screen there. You can also, what you do, like with an image like that I'm going to put on top of, it has a nice background remover functionality, which they call cutout. So while that image is highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and hit cutout. And you'll see that it now has highlighted that image, and it's now going to cut out that image and just remove the background to that as it's processing that. I have had some times where sometimes that froze a little bit on me. So it's, as you can see here, it's still thinking about editing that cutout that I did. And then hopefully it will unfreeze there in a second, and you'll see the background removed.
So Chris, at the end of it just had yellow brackets around. If you go back to the previous, so you on the third line down, yeah. So it has the yellow brackets around. So I'm assuming that after that you could add a different picture and take that one away and just make.
Yeah, you can change the length here by dragging. Yeah, so you can drag and drop that length of that, and you can add other overlays on top of it as well. Yes.
Hey, Chris, I find it really frustrating you can't get this to work, buddy. It's slowing my morning down, and I'm frustrated with you.
Yeah, I understand, Peter. I appreciate that. It's not me, it's you. But it's working. It's just not. It's taking its time to make that a cutout. So now as I go back to my my main editing screen here, the final thing that you have here is the sticker. So again, if you're comfortable inside of Instagram, these are the same Instagram stickers that show up there as well. And then the final thing that you can do inside of the editor is you're going to name the project. That will make it so that in 6 months, you can find that project again as you need to do it, rather than just seeing all of these unnamed projects here. There'll be no way to easily find those later on the road. So what do you guys think of the video editor, or the project editor, I should say? Those who are familiar, who are comfortable inside of CapCut, what are your thoughts on that?
I like it. Could you quickly show us how you got to the green screen in Instagram Edit? I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So under the record button, there is this option here that says change background, and that would change the background to
You're showing the wrong screen, I think.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Sorry, guys. Yep. Thank you. So from your project board, you just hit the record, and then you have this change background button, which would normally do that, but it's glitching right now because it doesn't like the cutout that I added to it. It's still doing. Remember I said that the AI for Meta is a little slow inside of here? There's your version of there's what I mean by that. It has completely bogged down the edits app. What other thoughts you guys have on the app so far as you've seen it? All right, just a couple other things inside of edits I just want to show you that these are some unique features to edit that that are different than that are features inside of CapCut. So going back to my edits, I am going to, so there's two little things I haven't touched as of yet on here. I'll use three technically. So this first one is what they call stickies. So stickies are little notes that you can add to your collection. So maybe you've saved some other people's reels for inspiration. You can add sticky notes to them to, hold on, let me reopen it. All right, so yeah, so you'll see you have the ability to add stickies. So if you go in, and what I do a lot of times is I'll go in maybe once a week and I will watch a bunch of reels and I will add them to collections for inspiration for future content I have. So I have this collections up here, and then I have trends to maybe post. So you can go into a trend that you want to post and you can pull up the reel itself, and then you'll see in the bottom right, you have this pink button, this pink little plus button, and then you can add do this for an open house. And then you can change the color of the sticky if you want to. And now every time you go into your collections, you'll see that sticky will come up on those posts. So you'll see that, do you do this for an open house idea? So now you can take, okay, I love this idea inside of Instagram. I have the collection, I have it saved. I don't have to add a note somewhere else. So like what I was doing before this is I would have a notes app that would said, you know, remind me to do this reel based on one that I had saved to my collection. So just adds a little bit of interaction there. And again, maybe minimizing the number of apps that you have to do to accomplish some of your social media. So you can do that you can actually just add regular, just plain stickies as well. And that becomes your little sticky note for maybe some inspirational or ideas that you want to post, your little reminders. And then you have your inspiration as well as that little play button. So that'll open essentially it's connected to your Instagram account. So you have options for inspiration, and then whoever you're following, their reels will show up here in a feed for, again, so you don't have to hop in between apps, in and out of apps. You can do that right inside of the Edits app. And then finally, for edits are the metrics. So if you guys know me, I am a stats geek, but Instagram itself has limited metrics that are behind that. There's a lot deeper analytics inside of Instagram edits. So I can go into any of the posts that I have, and if I click on side of it, it'll show not only the views, again, which Instagram natively shows. It'll show your average watch time. It'll show the share rate. It'll show the like rate. It'll show the skip rate. So a lot more metrics than you can get inside of the Instagram app itself. And then it also will it'll rank your reels as far as like out of the last 10, how does it rank in viewership on it. So that is Instagram edits. What are your overall thoughts on it?
I like it.
Is it something you'll give it a try?
Yep.
All right, then let's dive into CapCut. So if you don't have a CapCut, again, same thing. You'll go into your app store and it has this little 2 triangles thing. It is owned by TikTok, which is why it became a part of the TikTok ban. So the same parent company that owns TikTok owns CapCut, which is why they were both going to be banned back in January. So once you click on that, again, you'll create an account. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot more that you can do if you want to do some advanced editing inside of Capcut than you can do inside of Edits. Again, Edits, I think, is a fantastic place to dip your toes into video editing without having to go into, Adobe Premiere or Final Cut or anything like that to get, pretty solid editing that really is all that most real estate brokers are going to need to get done. So inside of Capcut, you'll see all of the options that are here. So again, can become overwhelming with all of the options that you can do. But if you want to just start something new, I'm going to go to New Project. And I am going to choose that same video. And then I'm going to click Add. So from there, you'll see on the bottom row, you'll see all of your options that are available to you. And again, as I was mentioning earlier, there are a lot more, whereas Edits only had the few that you could do. Look at all these options that are here for you. So if you want to add text, it's going to be the same thing. Hit the text button, add text. Change your fonts if you need to. A lot more options as far as fonts inside of Capcut. You can change the length of that. So if I want that to be on the screen a little bit longer, I'll just drag and drop that over. And then same thing as far as I get back to the main video menu here. So now you can see I have my video highlighted, and you can see all of the things that I can do to that video. So big thing with editing these videos, you need to make sure you're on the right thing or you're going to get quickly frustrated. So it will be highlighted with either a yellow or orange highlighter on it. So you can see now I have that video up. That tells me that I am inside the editing tools for that specific piece. So I'm going to go to animations, and I'm going to, so these are all of my, like, how it's going to come on the screen. So I want it to zoom in. We'll just go zoom 1. And you'll see that when the video comes in, that adds that little zoom to the start of the video. So the next thing I am going to go, so now I'm back to, I'm not really in anything specifically. I have my text that's there. I have the video that's there. If I want to add an overlay, I can do that. So let's say I want to add, like I did in the other one, I added that little, well, I attempted to add the papers on there. So I'm going to hit overlay, and I'm going to hit add overlay. And now I'm going to choose that same image. So where did it go? Oh, photos. Photos, and it was this stack of papers here. You can now resize it. And then again, if I'm thinking this through, I can now point to this as it appears on the screen and make it so that it appears when I hit point. But then what Capcut does have a little better are the animations inside of the overlay. So now you'll see at the bottom of the screen, I'm on the overlay. So if I click on back on the video, now I'd be editing the video. If I click on the overlay, now I'm editing the overlay. And if I hit, first thing I want to do here is I'm going to scroll over, and you'll see back remove BG. So the full auto removal is a paid feature. But if you don't have the paid version, you can do custom removal. And then with custom removal, you just have to kind of draw what you want done there. But I have the pro account, so you'll see now the background was instantly removed there pretty easily. So now, rather than it looking like it's on my car, now it is just a stack of papers. And now what I love to do with this is now animate the actual image when it pops on the screen, so that when it pops onto my screen, it has a little flare and animation with it. So I'm gonna go to animations, and I am going to choose click open. So now what that will do is when, I'm gonna move it a little bit so it doesn't instantly pop on the screen. So now we got the video playing. Now you'll see when it pops on the screen, it's got that little mount point, and then it zooms up to be there. So now I can also change the length of how long I want that to be on the screen. And now I have the ability, now I've got a little pop-up on there that I clicked on. So it could be click on, a link to my website or something like that and have that pop up there. So a lot more as far as what you can do with the overlay inside of CapCut versus versus edits for sure. Thoughts on that so far? What else are you guys wanting to use your what kind of other video editing do you want to have? Or are you looking for? Are you missing?
Chris, one of the things I want to do, because I put some videos up on YouTube and then also on Instagram, my videographer for my listings does them landscape, and I put that on multiple different places, and then I like to take a little snapshot of it like this to put it on Instagram. When I've done it in CapCut to kind of change the frame, it still downloads as this like long square with like the little thing in the middle of it.
Space at the top of it and the bottom of it.
I mean, you might not be able to tell me how to fix that, but I figured.
I can. No, I can do that. And because I know you do your Tuesday. What are your Tuesday things? Well, I forget what you call them.
Touch base Tuesdays.
Touch base Tuesdays, yes. And a lot of times you do record them horizontally, right?
Yeah.
So you can take that video and then you can, I don't know if it's going to work on here very easily, but there's a button that says transform. So you take the transform, and that transforms that video into that size, and then you're just going to zoom into probably just you on there, and then you can export it. I did it with, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yes, it can be done inside of CapCut for sure.
Okay. All right. Yep. Maybe I'm just exporting it wrong because it still had this like black.
Has the black at the sides and the top and the bottom. Yeah, you can make it so it fits inside of the frame that you want. Yes, you have to transform, and you might have to change the template size to like your project size.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. What else? So as I mentioned, like there's a ton of stuff that you can do inside of both of them, especially from an AI standpoint. If I go back to that project that I was just in, again, you know, we covered a couple basic things there. Captions are very similar to the edits app. You have tons of different options. Again, these are similar to ones you would be able to find natively in TikTok, but also a lot more, especially if you have the pro account in here. I'll just go ahead and generate those. And then while that is going, some of the other things that you can do inside of CapCut that I think are a little bit better are going to be the AI and especially the voice. So let's just say you guys all have amazing voices. You are exactly how you sound. But if you don't like how you sound and you want to make yourself sound like you're in the witness protection program instead, or you can actually even have fun with that and make it so that you're in the witness protection program. Maybe that's the theme of what you're doing. But I have my video popped up here. And I am going to go over to enhance voice. No, it's not enhance voice. It is. Where was it? I did it yesterday. Audio effects. So if I go to audio effects, this will change the voice of my audio that's on there. So it'll take the audio that is there, that is me, and it can make it be David. It can make it be Bianca. It can make it be anything that I want it to be and not be my voice. Again, if you want to just change things up and make it so that it's a little bit different, these are little things that, you know, maybe make your video pop a little bit. And again, just differentiate, you know, rather than hearing you all the time, maybe 1 out of every 10, you have a little bit of a different voice on there. You can get that done as well. Again, with a ton of other AI tools that are here. And you'll see all of those over your AI avatars. So this is, I think that Carrie was has messed around with those a little bit, right? Did you do that inside of CapCut, Carrie, or was that something else you had your avatar be you?
Oh, the avatar one? That was no, that was a different one. What was that called? It didn't work very good. I ended up not. It just didn't sound like me. It wasn't smooth. I decided that's not going to be a viable option for my videos.
Got you.
I can't remember what it was though. I'll look. Hold on.
Okay. So so that's what we wanted to cover today in CapCut versus Instagram edits. Hopefully gave you a little bit of comfort level moving forward with what you can do without too much pain inside of both of those video editing platforms. But what were some takeaways that you guys had for today? I like to know that I'm helping at least one person every time I'm doing these. If not, I need to rethink what I'm doing.
Well, I think I will try edits. Like I said, I've been doing Canva, and maybe Canva even does some of that stuff, but I don't know that. So you've made me even want to think about looking for it there. I did not know anything about edits. Like I'd heard about it, but I had not seen it. So that made it seem pretty simple. And I say all the time, I did not get into this business to be a marketer. So, the simpler, the better. And honestly, I don't think it needs to be something that's totally complicated for the public. I think the point is to have you out there with a message that makes sense. I don't think it needs to be, a major production. So I'm glad I was able to come into this class today.
Simplified it and makes it so that again you can add a little bit to it. Like I think captions you have to have. Captions are an absolute must have. Like that has to be done without a doubt on almost every video that you're making should have captions on it for sure. Both of them have that. Both of them have it for free. So you'll want to at the very least be doing that. But then it's just some minor editing. Like I love having stuff pop up on the screen. You're gonna keep people's attention there. You can even do. I didn't go into it because it takes a few more steps, but especially in CapCut, you can make the text appear behind you. It just gives it a little bit better of a aesthetic feel to it. It looks like it just ups it a little bit without making it so that it's too crazy. And really all you're doing in CapCut to do that is you're just duplicating the same exact video and layering it on top of each other and making it so that the text layer is behind. So again, stuff like that, that's maybe a 10-minute kind of learn, but it just adds that much more to your videos, I think.
Chris, can I assume that I can upload a video that I've done in the past and add captions to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a live video or anything like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, that is what we have for today. I just want to thank you guys for being here. I have my topics for July all lined up. So what's up next for Tech Thursday? So on July 3rd, and July may be a little tough and challenging for people. I'll make sure that I record both of these for sure. And hopefully some people will still be around and hop on. Even if you're on vacation, you can hop on maybe for 30, 45 minutes. So on July 3rd, we're going to talk about Canva organization. We touched on this briefly in one of my other Tech Thursdays, but it's going to be all about organization and making it so that I don't know about you, but my Canva sometimes looks like someone just vomited inside of there, and so everything is all over the place. So we're going to talk about what you can do as far as organization inside of Canva, and then on the 17th, tell your friends, tell everybody in real estate. Well, tell at least one person that we're having this section on July 17th. We're going to talk about what else you can do inside of it with AI beyond ChatGPT or beyond whatever your GPT of choice is. So we're going to dive a little bit into some of the other apps that are out there that are available for AI. So tell your friends about what we're doing here on Tech Thursday, and I appreciate every single one of you. Bye-bye.